Welcome to Me, Myself, and Ego. I am Kim Jamieson, and today I want to open the conversation around self-worth and self-love. More specifically, identifying patterns that aren't serving you in the way of self-worth and or self-love. Identifying things in your life that may or may not be working for you, things you are doing, thinking, feeling, and how they're creating all or some of your struggles and stresses. Perhaps you're struggling in one or many areas of your life. Either way, in order to be able to make change, grow, be happier, less stressed, and less depressed, you first need to identify what is causing these struggles. To be able to honestly witness yourself and become more aware of your patterns, you have to remove all of the bullshit that you've told yourself up until this point. All of the excuses you've allowed to stay in the cycle of these patterns. Now, rather than bashing the shit out of yourself, however, try to be kind, be the loving critic, and take a step back and look at all areas of your life. Self-love and self-worth. How do you feel about yourself? What do you think of and or about yourself? How do you treat yourself? What's not working for you in that area of your life? What does it mean to you? Self-love and self-worth. Parenting, if you're a parent, how do you feel about yourself as a parent? What's not working for you in that area of your life? What excuses are you making? I'm tired, I work hard, no one helps me. All excuses. Sure, you might actually be tired. Trust me, I've been there. But what's not helping you in that situation? What could you be doing more or less of to help, say, the fatigue? Relationships. How do you feel about yourself when it comes to relationships? What's not working for you in that area of your life? What have you done time and time again, each time expecting a different result, only to be left totally surprised when the outcome is inevitably the same again? Financial, work, business. How do you feel about yourself when it comes to money, work, success, business? What's not worked for you in the past? What's not working for you now? What excuses do you have? What patterns? Health, fitness, well-being. How do you feel about yourself when it comes to health, fitness, well-being? What's not worked for you in the past? What's not working for you now? What excuses do you have? Who are you allowing to influence these things? Now, I said I'd be raw and honest in this podcast, so I'm going to give you a bit of an insight into some of the things that I identified in my life and in myself that were not working for me, were not serving me or what's most important to me. Things that didn't align, no matter how much I tried to ignore them, fight them, hide them, or suppress them, no matter how consciously or unconsciously aware or unaware I was of them, they simply were not working. Self-love, self-worth, for me, I measured my self-worth off what I thought other people thought of me. So my level of self-love and how I treated myself was dependent day by day on what I thought other people were thinking of me at that time. Fucking warped, right? When in reality, I was projecting what I thought of myself, how I saw myself. It had nothing to do with anyone else. Simple. I thought I wasn't enough. I thought I wasn't worthy. So I projected that out into the world, which in turn came back to me each and every fucking day like a gift that kept on giving. I finally got to a point where I realized what I was doing. I identified the patterns, the stories, the bullshit I was telling myself, the wounds and the traumas. What was I doing? What was I doing that wasn't working? I was looking for external validation. I needed confirmation coming from external sources other than myself that showed me, told me, would convince me that I was enough and that I was worthy. Why? So that I didn't have to try and convince myself. So I didn't have to do the work. The problem with that, it's very short-lived. You might get that external validation, but the conviction doesn't last long. Then you start needing it again, start searching for it, then doing whatever it takes to get it. Then, like many things in life, you might actually get it, but it won't be in the exact form you thought you wanted or needed it. And around it goes. So what did I do? One by one, I took a step back and I witnessed myself. I watched and I listened to what I was doing, thinking and feeling, without blame, without shame, without guilt. One by one, I debunked all of the bullshit I told myself, the fucked up stories, the blame, the shame, the guilt. I gave myself a gift, the gift I give everybody else: compassion and love, to heal. When I noticed I was seeking validation, I would sit in that moment and I would ask myself, why am I doing this? Again, from that place of love and compassion, never in guilt, shame, or blame. What am I hoping to achieve by putting this out there? What don't I have in this moment that I am seeking externally? After a while, and no, it doesn't happen overnight, so I'm not going to lie, I stopped projecting. I stopped looking and I stopped needing other people to tell me, to show me that I was worthy, that I was enough, because I finally realized that all that mattered was that I believed, I knew, I understood that I was enough, that I was worthy, which meant the way I then treated, or AKA loved myself, the way I treated myself changed. I respected myself. I loved, honored, and trusted myself. I let go of anything that was no longer serving me. I saw myself more as a human who breathes and bleeds and doesn't need to be perfect, and less of a separate being surviving only off of other people's perceptions of me, surviving off their drip feeds. I understood that life would happen, but I trusted myself to be able to handle it. So that's it for today. Another short, sharp and sweet episode of Me, Myself and Ego. I hope you enjoyed this episode and you are able to get something from it and it can possibly help you in some way. If you think that someone else might benefit from tuning in, don't forget to take a minute after the end of this episode to like, share, review, subscribe, spread the love, all those things. Thank you again for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next episode of Me, Myself and Ego.